Thanks for listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shannon Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology coach, and personalized learning coordinator for my district.
And I'm her husband, Fuzz Martin, doing TikTok dances in the background.
That you are. There's a whole lot of TikTok happening in this house.
There's a whole lot of TikTok. And TikTok in this house means special.
Yes, it does. Between you and the 15-year-old, there's a lot of TikTok happening.
Okay, boomer.
So funny. So here we are.
Okay, boomer.
The week before Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Mass
chaos.
The week of Thanksgiving. Like mass chaos ensues. And I don't know if it's like everywhere.
Yeah.
Or if it's
not in Canada. Midwestern
states. Or if it's, I feel like it's, or even Wisconsin, where we only have a 2-day week this week because everyone's hunting. And the students are all allowed to.
You had how many students on Friday request off?
11.
Yeah. And that's not even the start of hunting week. Hunting doesn't start till Saturday.
A lot of families travel.
They pieced out
but
already.
It is like it's an excused.
Yeah. Do they call them orange slips? Is that what they call them?
Well, it is because it's like hunter orange, but as teachers we just do because that's how we know how to find them.
Yeah.
So there's like it's like hunting orange and you sign off on it, but that's just because our families are excused for hunting. A lot of them, like, that's a source of meat, and you know, like everyone's. It's a family ritual kind of thing. So yeah. It is definitely excused in our district. But because of that, a lot of families are gone. Mm-hmm. So we have kids gone Friday, kids gone Monday. And then it's funny, a lot of kids will come back for Tuesday, and then we don't have school on Wednesday because that's like our conference makeup day, and then people are hunting. So It's just like a very chaotic kind of time. Plus it's the end of the trimester for like a third of our classes. So core classes run on quarters, but like supplemental classes, electives run on trimesters. Yeah,
that's a lot to juggle, especially because some classes run on eighth mesters, and
so there's a lot happening. So it's kind of a mini episode. I'm talking about 2 sites that I used literally like the last couple of days because I'm wrapping up some things and starting new things and getting kids engaged in different activities. And so there's just a lot happening. So I figured, hey, like these are super cool. They're high engagement. They're teaching kids different skills, and you can throw them in anywhere. So boom, we're going to like share these, and hopefully you can use them, and maybe your life is not as chaotic as mine is right now.
Maybe. Well, let's find out what they are.
Yeah. So the first site is freerice.com.
Okay.
freerice.com.
freerice.com.
I have been using this site forever. I've been teaching 16 years.
Okay.
I feel like at least 10 of them I've used Free Rice.
I hadn't heard of it until you told me about it right before we started recording.
Which is interesting because I feel like I've talked about it before, but maybe...
You may have, and maybe I...
And you didn't need to know about it, so you just kind of like, sure, cool.
It's part of the UN World Food Program.
So what it does is... It seems like there's a lot of ads, and there's a reason for the ads, but... You have a vocab word in the center of the screen, and you click on it, and you get it right or wrong. If you get it right, you get little points down in the bottom, and you add rice to your bowl. Simple enough. The more rice you add to the bowl, the more food people who need it get it.
Yeah.
So literally, by answering questions right, your students are feeding people. To learn more about it, and to also, cool little thing, we talked about this, the hamburger in the upper left-hand part of your screen.
Yes, good job.
If you click on categories, you can change the subject. So this can be used in any class. There's from climate action to English vocabulary to geography, like world landmarks, to humanities, famous paintings, literature, quotations, to language learning, Czech, Latin, French, German, to math with multiplication tables, to science with chemical symbols and human anatomy. So like you can use this in any class. And it's a great way to, if kids are like reviewing, or if they need 5-10 minutes of like just doing something academic
Yeah.
or, like just keeping them engaged. And you can change the difficulty levels and you can do groups and you can have a login and actually save your games. Or if they don't want to save it, you just want them to try it out, they can just jump on and just start playing. You don't
Sure.
have to have a login, which is cool. And then if you click the about, it will give you all the background as to how this site feeds the World Food Program and how they benefit from the ads. And then those ads help like fund the rice that's being fed to people who are starving.
Sure.
So it's just very cool where it's very much vocabulary review of various different topics, and at the same time you're doing good for others. And I shared it with a group of my students today, and they were like, are we actually feeding people by answering questions? And I was like, yeah, that's so cool. And then they were more motivated
Yeah, that's
to
really cool.
do
Yeah.
better,
Yeah.
and to actually concentrate instead of just like clicking through things. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was really kind of cool, and it's kind of fun just to see and prove what they know too. Because like, I don't know that word. I'm like, well, use your word parts. Like we use roots. We practice word roots all the time. You know it. Just like try it out. So freerice.com. It's a free website.
I haven't really been paying too much attention because I've been clicking on words.
Because you've been playing the whole time. And
but I'm feeding people, so if you don't mind.
But that's super true. Like even adults, anybody can sit and play this. It doesn't have to even be students. It's kind of just a cool way. And I've done it as a motivator before too. Sometimes I've been playing teams, and like whichever team can get to 3,000 grains of rice first gets to leave for lunch like 30 seconds early or something
Nice.
like that. And that's a big deal because you get in line first.
I actually got one wrong, which I was like, and when I first started playing, I was like, oh, this is so like, why would you play this? And then there was a word, and I don't even know what it was at the moment, but I was like, I know words, and I don't know what that word meant.
It does build on itself too.
Yeah.
So it adjusts to like if words are too easy or more difficult, and it kind of grows.
Yeah,
Which is cool.
It is
Look
cool.
at you.
All right,
Are you done clicking?
Shanna.
What grains are you at?
Cosmos. I'm at 4:30.
Okay.
Cosmos means frying pan, universe, keeping way, or helper.
Universe.
All right, Shanna. Disarray means legend, thankfulness, confusion, or border.
Confusion.
Oh man, you're so good at this. All right, last one.
Okay.
No, hang on. That one's too easy. Picturesque means extremely funny, pretty, neglectful, or loaded.
Pretty.
Oh man.
Okay, we're done.
You are a
word master, right?
Yes.
So freerice.com.
freerice.com.
Do it. Or just
I love
start
it.
playing it right now because you can feed people.
I'm going to keep playing. You
Okay,
talk
keep
about the
playing while
next
I
thing, and
talk.
I'll be over here.
All right, cool. So the next one, again, high engagement. You look baffled. Do you
Yeah,
have
well,
a
hold
big
on. I am. Hang on. Incarnation means embodiment, hag, forgetfulness, or showdown.
Embodiment.
Yeah, okay. That's the right one.
Okay, let's focus.
I'm hyper-focused.
All right.
Recuperation.
So we're moving on from freerice.com, and clearly it engages everybody, and you feel like a winner.
Yeah, I'm a part of this. All right, let's go on to Pencil Code.
So the next
Gym.
website is Pencil Code Gym. Pencilcode.com. So PENCIL.
Like a pencil, what
Like
you write
pencil,
with.
code,
And
CODE.
like you write.
.net. I'm sorry, not .com. It's a .net. .net.
Pencilcode.net.
And
I should go to pencilcode.com to see what happens when you go there, because it might be horrible.
okay,
I'm just
while
kidding,
you're
I
on
went
that
to it.
adventure. So pencilcode.net is a site that
Nope, it takes you to pencilcode.net.
does it? Okay. It is a site that is based on coding,
Yep.
but I feel that it can be used in a lot of different ways. I know a lot of times coding sites like, oh, it's a computers class or robotics class or science class or whatever you're going to use it. But this one, not only does it give you cool ways to learn coding, but you can introduce coding in other subject areas instead of always just putting it in like the one lane where people think it belongs.
Mm-hmm.
So Pencil Code has different options to teach coding. You can draw, and they've got Jam. You can make music, or you can code an adventure. So you log in My suggestion is to have a login. It just works out a lot easier. If you have your login, students can have their login. And they house all of the little programs that you make in code, and it saves them for you. So if you have a login, you can click blocks, and then you can just block, set up your blocks and make a code like normal, like drawings, and it's fine. But if you start back at the very beginning on the Pencil Code webpage, to start, you have the option of clicking draw, jam, or imagine, and click draw, and you can create art. And what's cool about it is not only does it have blocks for coding on the side, but then it gives you directions and like actual projects to do. So I know a lot of times kids get overwhelmed when they're coding, or they're like, I don't even know where to start. And on the left-hand side here, they've got like curved shapes, symmetric drawings, remote control, like filled shapes, and repetitions, and draw a snow kid. And it then walks you through, this is what the code would look like to draw this picture. Now you try. And there's also an option that you can flip out of blocks and switch to text. So then kids can see, if I'm coding in block, this is what it looks like when I'm coding in text.
Yeah.
And it gives a really good visual to flip back and forth. Or if kids are confused, they can flip back to block. Or if they want to move ahead, they can flip to text. So it's kind of cool that you can flip back and forth. When you have your own account, you're able, when you go into drawing, it's not as, they have all of the lessons set up for teachers, but when you go to I want to draw now, and you get your little picture out, you get this cute little turtle, and the little turtle like follows your directions around on the screen. So
oh yeah, I see. Okay.
So you can set up your turtle, and the turtle will make a square, and then you can drag over like a block and change it. I think the first direction says like a box or something, and you can type in a different shape, and then it pulls from wherever the visuals are. And I made like cheese, and so then I typed in cheese, and my turtle made a piece of cheese. And so you can, and then I switched the cheese to a heart. And so as you're coding and then replaying what you've coded, you can see your pictures as you're making them.
Yep.
Which is a really cool thing. It's not, you are creating your own project, and it's following the directions that you're writing, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And that's just the drawing piece. So if you go to jam on it. There's a piano. And what's cool is, because you started doing this, and I think it's natural, you type in like the p.play. Thank you for sharing your music with us. Yep, that's beautiful. So
thank you.
With the jam,
you should put a copyright
link
on that.
Yeah, we could add that into our song at the beginning. You can type in your letters then, and the keyboard will play the coding. So for like music class, if you want to introduce writing songs, you can use coding and music at the same time. Like you can tie in different subjects, which I think is super cool. So not only, and you can switch from block to typing. To me, the music one is much easier if you're just typing in letters versus doing block, but everyone does their own thing. But the kids can write a song. So you can have them try to figure it out on a keyboard and then write it in, or just write it in and see what they come up with.
That's pretty cool. Sorry.
See, again, highly engaging. And on the left-hand side, too, you can make chords, simple tune, count out beats, sharps, rounds, octaves. So you can teach vocabulary that goes along with music as well, along with coding.
By the way, that last one that I was playing was Happy from Pharrell.
There you go. Look at you. Look at you. And that one's pre-programmed.
I did not write this program, for the record.
Copyright.
This is from Pencil Code. So the Pencil Code Gym stuff is written CoffeeScript, which is it's a coding script that is it's like an add-on over JavaScript, hence coffee.
Clever.
Java,
I
coffee.
like it. They should make cappuccino script.
They should.
And then a latte.
So CoffeeScript isn't like super widely used, but it's an easier way for people to learn scripting without some of the different types of operators that you need to use. So it's like a good way for kids to learn scripting, but it's not a super widely used, but it's kind of like a gateway script. So you can, if you can start to learn CoffeeScript, you can
From
learn
blocks to coffee.
Yeah, then you can learn JavaScript, and then you can, if you know JavaScript, I mean there's a lot of web programming and such that's built on that. And
Cool.
they also offer HTML and CSS on Pencil Code Gym that you can learn to write this stuff. There's a lot of, like, we could do a whole episode on coding languages and things like that. Like, it was one time where I was teaching myself how to write Ruby. So
I don't know what that was.
so like Twitter is built on Ruby on Rails.
Okay.
Or it was, at least in 2008 when I started learning it. I don't know if it's still on Rails, but it was definitely built on Ruby. You know, like the smartandwi.com is built on PHP through WordPress.
Right.
But but it also includes some JavaScript and some other stuff. So
Cool.
yeah.
Nice. The last piece that goes with Pencil Code Gym.
Yes.
To me, I think they build on themselves. So you
Right.
kind of start with the drawing,
Yep.
and then you move to the music, and then the last piece is it's called Imagine, and what you do is you can write your story, and then within your story you can also add like the letters to be the pictures, or you can actually illustrate your story. So your story is written, the type can then be the letters of the story. And so there's just more and more pieces on it. So you could do this almost in writing, in like writing class where you're
Right.
writing a story, but then you put it into Pencil Code Gym as a code,
Yeah.
and then it builds the story that way. So you have visuals and you have the story themselves, and you can code it all, which is pretty sweet.
It's got some like a fortune teller and a genie. Some kind of scripts that are starters that you can use, and I will have bad luck today, and every time that, except for a few that I've tried to redo it, it tells me you will have bad luck today. So thanks, Pencil Code Gym. I'm gonna go to bed after this, so that I
Have a better day.
have a better day.
Nice. So yeah, so Pencil Code Gym, there's so many different pieces that you can build on, starting with very like basic, straightforward coding, and
Yeah.
then incorporating it into different classes. So again, when you're in these like crazy weird days, schedule everywhere,
Yeah.
and you want the kids to learn some skills and have some problem solving time, like set them in a group or some partners, like, here, you guys figure this out. I feel like it's one of those where I think it would be highly engaging, and they're learning
Yeah.
a
Absolutely.
lot at the same time, which is
Certainly.
fun.
It
I
is
know we had
fun.
fun with it today, and so I was, you know what, we need to talk about this. The last thing I want to talk about is something I discovered about 3 months ago, but I used it again this week. Is we've talked about TED Ed before.
Yeah.
I love TED Ed. Anyway, so TED Ed has come up with a series called Think Like a Coder, and
Okay.
so as of now, there's 3 episodes out because the 3rd episode came out this week. And it is perfect for middle school to high school because it's a little like, I wouldn't say edgy, but it's definitely, it's fast moving, and you have to be listening to what they're saying and know a little bit about coding or computers to understand stuff.
Sure.
And it has this like girl who's going on this adventure with this robot, and like they first break out of prison, and then they join the resistance, and then the next piece is like they're helping out the resistance, and so she's given coding problems for her robot.
Yeah.
And the episodes are set up like riddles, so they literally pause in the episode and they tell you to pause it, and then they give you the steps back, and they say how is she going to solve this problem using like coding language. So like this week we talked all about like loops.
Yeah.
And the kids were able to tell me exactly what a loop is from watching the video and seeing the cartoon solve the problem.
Right.
And so...
Yeah, I'm skipping through the first episode right now, and it reminds me a lot of the book that we have for our little one, How to Code a Sandcastle.
Yeah, she watches it. Yeah, we've read How to Code the Sandcastle.
Has she watched this?
No, I haven't showed these to her yet.
I think she might enjoy this.
She might.
Based on that, because she'll know things like a loop or a sequence.
Yeah.
Or an if-then-else statement.
And that's what this was. It was an if-then statement that was happening for like the episodes we were watching. So we watched 2 episodes a week. But what's funny is my students have gotten into it after episode 2. They're like, well, when's episode 3 come out? I'm like, well, they take like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But because I had shown episode 2 so late, episode 3 dropped this week. So we were able to watch episode 2 and then episode 3.
And they're only like 7 minutes long.
Yeah. So they don't take much class time. But you can stretch it out and have a whole discussion based on it. And while it's based in coding stuff, just the discussion of problem solving is really cool.
Critical thinking.
Yeah. So anyway, my middle schoolers are 8th graders, and they're pretty into it. And I was like, wow, what a cool series to create. And anyway, so I just felt the need to share that because...
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So that is called... it's under TED Ed, but it's the...
Think Like a Coder is the series, and then each series has like There's title.
The Prison Break, The Resistance. What's number 3 called?
Let's. How long do we go? I'm sure if we play the second one, the third one comes up. If you type in
Think Like a Coder, it will come up.
The Furnace Bots is episode 3.
Gotcha. There you go.
Yeah, they have to solve the problem with the furnace.
That's really cool.
So
I enjoy it.
It's cool. If you've got a chance, check it out. If you think your kids, if you have a handful of kids that would really be interested in problem solving, like, hey, watch these videos and see if you can figure out what the problem is, because you just pause it and then figure it out. So, so some things to kind of get you through the crazy, weird weeks. We will be off this coming week because of Thanksgiving.
Right.
And so gather your things, because it's that crazy time of year when everything's everywhere. Yeah.
Hold on to your hats. I got nothing.
The holidays are here.
Well, I mean, they are, because we have one fewer week to Christmas than normal.
Yeah.
And
chaos ensues.
Chaos is definitely ensuing.
Cool.
But hey,
we got hopefully some things that'll
that means we're
help you out
closer to the end of the year.
That means nothing.
That means nothing at all.
But it'll be 2020.
Yeah.
That's exciting. All right.
We'll look back, and in hindsight, I got nothing. I'm going to use that hindsight joke for at least 365 days.
Okay. I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
Yay. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have any questions, you can find me on Twitter at SmartNWI. And if you want to get more information on the links to the technology discussed in this episode, you can visit smartnwi.com, or you can visit me on Facebook or anywhere else.
Twitter.
Email.
By the way, I've been on Twitter since 2008.
Yes.
You started Twitter 2018.
Yes.
And
no, it was before that. It was like 2016.
Okay, but you're almost
I almost had 1,000 followers.
I'm at 1,037.
I'm at 937.
Yeah, you were 100 off from me. Yeah. I'm proud of you. Work.
Follow me.
Smart and WI.
We'll chat.
Don't follow me. I'm lost too.
Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate.
The ideas and opinions expressed in this podcast and the Smart in WI website are those of the author Shanna Martin and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies discussed in this podcast, please consult with your employer regulations. This podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as described, but we hope they do. We hope you have or have had a happy Thanksgiving, depending on what time you're listening to this. And we will talk to you again another time in a week.
December. First week in December.
It'll be the first week in December. Have a good one. Bye.